I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to, become my own boss. And I call it unbossed. I'm
like
unbossed.
That. That's new. I like that.
Yeah, I love it too. So that's a course coming out too. So because people ask me all the time, they say, Maunda, how did you get to that path of financial freedom? And it is a scary road because especially when you're used to a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. But it is a road that if you really want to reach your full potential, then you're gonna have to take that entrepreneurial journey, and that entrepreneurial step. And that doesn't mean that you never work a 9 to 5, because some people love their 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to be able to get to where you want to go, you want to get that business going, you want to really become free, where you can do what you want to do.
Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Level Up with OC, where we sit down with highly regarded entrepreneurs and they teach you the gems towards leveling up in your career. Today I'm joined by Maunda.
Thank you for having me, Oriana.
Absolutely. So I want to say, I appreciate you coming out today because I know what your skill set and what you're into, which is financial freedom, is something that everybody's looking for. And you see it so often as something that's like offered as far as in like learning how to get into investments and learning how to get into cryptocurrency and things of that nature. But it's one of those things that you need to hear from the right people, because we were just having this conversation the other day where we were talking about how I get so many DMs from people saying, do you want to get into Forex? And do you want to get into like Bitcoin and stuff like that? And It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know you.
So true. So true. So true.
So to hear it from someone like yourself who, is well versed in it, I feel like this is going to be a powerful conversation.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Cool. So let's start by, you telling everybody a little bit about yourself. Like, where did you grow up?
Well, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, so I am a Detroiter in Orlando, proud Detroiter. There's quite a group of us here in Detroit. Yes, we actually have a group that we get together.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I love it. I'm from Detroit, born and raised, Detroit, Michigan, and I moved here about 10 years ago. So my husband and I met in college at Michigan State University.
Sweethearts.
Yes. He has a story behind that, but that's another story for another day.
Okay.
But we met in college and dated after college, got married, and then got jobs in Lansing, Michigan. And Lansing is a small town capital. If you're from Michigan, it's like right there. Everyone says from Michigan, you show your hand. But anyway, so we met there, we worked. I was in politics. My major was environmental studies and applications. I was going to save the world. I was a tree hugger and made my family recycle and, and all that good stuff. I still recycle. But met my husband, got married, and we were very involved in our church. And one day, our church decided to move to Orlando. And my husband and I looked at each other and said, we don't want to be here anyway. We didn't want to be in a small town. We were from, Detroit. And so I had a contract on my job. I was an association executive at the time, a VP at an association. And so once my contract expired, we packed up our stuff and moved. No jobs, no nothing.
Just fresh start.
And it was one of the best decisions that we ever made.
Wow.
And besides, of course, marrying, myself,
of
getting
course.
married, stuff like that. But was super excited about it. Came down here. In the first 2 months, I met over 150 people. I networked my butt off, but was at the mayor's inaugural address. New person.
How did you go about networking?
Oh, that's a course that's coming out. I'll tell you, because people have asked me all about my networking. I'm an extrovert, but and I love meeting people.
Yeah.
But I just was able to connect with people, and then I would ask them about, who else do you know? And then we would have a conversation.
Yeah.
Who else do you know? And Orlando is a small town, but what I love about Orlando is that people are genuinely willing to help other people.
I've noticed that. Mm-hmm. So I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So when it comes to like networking, how do you feel is the best way to preserve those relationships? Because oftentimes we network, we go somewhere, we meet a couple people, we get their phone number, and then it's kind of like, where do you go from there? Like, how do you keep those relationships at a good point to where, like, if you need something, you know that you can call them, or if they need something, you know that they know that they can call you?
Well, I think there's two ways, and you have to identify and classify who you're networking with.
Okay.
So for me, if it's professional, you know, I'm always going to put them in LinkedIn. In my LinkedIn, I have a lot of connections, but they're only people that I've personally met. So I guard my LinkedIn because that is my network and the people that I know.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, or that I've worked with this virtual world that I've worked with.
Yeah.
You know, I was working for an international association, so I may not have met someone personally, but I work with them.
Okay.
So I keep them in my LinkedIn that way. But otherwise, then it's in my phone, and it may be, you know, how did I meet them? How can I connect with them? And then I think when you're talking about staying in contact, the main thing is if you are in an area, it doesn't hurt to, like LinkedIn will say it's their birthday or they've had a promotion. Always send them those small little notes. But say you're not on LinkedIn with that person. If you're thinking about that person or you ran into somebody that you know you met that may know that person, great, shoot them a little text, send them a note. Hey, it was nice to meet you. And always handwritten notes are gems.
Okay.
In today's society, most people think, oh, I'm gonna send a text or or a call. Most people don't get calls and most people don't get handwritten notes.
You're right.
So those are things that will always set you aside and people will remember you based upon those things.
Those are really powerful tools right there.
Yeah.
We're in such a digital age, so it's like text message or Instagram, but like you brought in a key point, like LinkedIn. Like a lot of us don't leverage LinkedIn to our full advantage. Like myself, I have a LinkedIn account. I check it here and there, but I've never thought to really use it as one of those resources of connecting with individuals, you know, like yourself, who I meet on a day-to-day basis. Keeping in contact.
Absolutely, because you never know when you're going to need something or when someone will need you. Like for instance, one of the gentlemen at the church, he had just graduated and he was looking for opportunities. And he said, well, I'm not sure. And when you graduate, you don't know what you want to do. You may have gotten a degree, and he got a master's degree, but he didn't really know the direction. And he said, I think I'm interested in events, and I have a CMP, which is a certified meeting professional. I used to work in events industry. I'm a certified association executive because I worked in association industry as well. But so I said, well, let me contact some of my meeting people, and just so you can talk to them. What do they do? So I went through who works for corporate, who works for association, who works private and does their own thing, who does AV companies. And I gave him all of these people, and I just sent them a connection and said, hey, will you talk with them?
Yeah.
All of them said yes.
That's awesome.
And so now he's expanded his network, as well as, I've reestablished a contact that I hadn't talked to in a while.
Wow. So you came out here not knowing anybody, not having a job or anything. You've been able to leverage just being in Orlando based upon networking and meeting the right people.
Yes.
Of course, backed by your credentials and your degrees.
Well, actually, when I moved here, I had the CMP because I was running a professional development department, which did meetings for an association. And then I was looking for another nonprofit association job. I was able to get in with an international association here in Lake Mary.
Oh, wow.
And from there I got my certified association executive. I was in the Diversity Executive Leadership Scholar Program with the Association of Associations. Listen, it's a whole industry.
Yeah,
so,
really.
But from that, I started realizing that really the only way that you're going to really reach your goals is not through having a 9-to-5 job. A 9-to-5 job will provide a good, stable comfort. I traveled all over the world. It's great.
Yeah.
But in order to reach where I really felt my true talents and abilities could take me, I knew I had to get into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So I signed up with a business coach, Dr. Stacia Pierce. She's my coach. Okay. And I started this entrepreneurial journey. Started with some companies on the side and did things as a side hustle, which is fantastic. However, when you're running a department, you know, you don't have much time.
Okay.
So to be
Yeah,
able
'cause
to
you're
do
committed
a
to
9
that.
to 5, have a family, have a job, and then, you know, also a side business is a lot.
Yeah, it
It's a
is.
lot. And circumstances came. I had a great opportunity with another organization, and it just was not a cultural fit for me.
No.
And so in 2019, I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this full time. I'm going to
Okay.
do my own thing. I'm going to, you know, become my own boss. And I call it unbossed. I'm
I like
unbossed.
that. That's new. I like that.
Yeah, I love it too. So that's a course coming out too. So because people ask me all the time, they say, Maunda, how did you get to that path of financial freedom? And it is a scary road because especially when you're used to a 9 to 5. But it is a road that if you really want to reach your full potential, then you're gonna have to take that entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
And that entrepreneurial step. And that doesn't mean that you never work a 9 to 5, because some people love their 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to be able to get to where you want to go, you want to get that business going, you want to really become free, where you can do what you want to do,
Yeah, and the time
not
is
what
yours.
someone is telling you to do. Or you can work a job and you can say, you know what, I've got unlimited vacation on this job. That's great. So I'm going to take 2 months off.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. We're not sure if you can. Most people would not even do that. They say unlimited vacation, but they don't do that because they're too scared to do that.
True.
So that comes from being an entrepreneur and really taking that leap of faith. So I did that, and I'm so happy I did.
Yeah.
I started trading. I have now a silver business. I'm doing courses.
So you jumped straight into trading. Was that your first entrepreneur journey?
No, actually, my husband and I actually have a blog that I've kind of put to the side because it was a travel blog.
Okay.
So we were helping people with getting, you know, coming to Orlando, and then once everything kind of shut down, it was
So this
okay.
is like when
well,
COVID
you know,
hit. That's,
yeah.
You
Well,
had to kind of
what
side.
do we do? How can we pivot and prosper?
Yeah.
You know, so when you sometimes circumstances come to you and things and situations will come, and you're wondering, well, why did this door close? Well, it's so that other doors could open.
Yeah.
And before in my last job, I had a virtual interview. Had no idea that virtual interviews would be the thing of now.
Right?
And I've had people calling me, how did you nail this virtual interview? And you need to put this in a court. People are telling me, like,
How did you nail
need
the
to
virtual interview?
Well, that literally is a long story, but I'll give you a couple of tips. So actually, my interview ended up being at, I was away, I was in Boca.
Okay.
And we were at a marriage retreat. And so I told my husband, go to this store or something while I do this interview. And I had to figure out in the room the proper lighting. So you want to make sure your lighting is always good. And then you always want to make sure your background is good.
Yeah.
But you also want to make sure that your laptop or your tablet or whatever you're using is propped up so you're not looking down. That's
Yeah.
a really, really bad thing. So
Positioning.
I had to like take a chair and get a stand and put it on the chair and then raise my seat up in the chair. So I'm
yeah.
making sure that I have the right height. I had my note cards and I had them taped to the monitor, so I knew my opening, my closing, what
So
I
it
was
was
gonna
right
say.
there so you could
It's
see
all
it.
right there, but I'm not looking like I'm reading. So, and just making sure that you're doing the right things when you're in the interview process and
Yeah.
you're answering the questions in a succinct manner. So it was a good experience. Because I had never gone through a virtual interview, but now I realize that more people need to know how they nail it so that they can get the job.
So what was it that made you, so if this was your first virtual interview, what was it that made you really pay attention to all those key details?
Well, actually, I can't say that it was all my knowledge. It was
Okay.
one of my mentors. She told me, she said, you're going to be in a virtual interview. You got to think about this. Think about the lighting. Think about, think about how you're positioned. Think about your tone. Think about the way, don't want to show the bed, of course. Think
Yeah.
about little things like that. And now, with people, a lot of times people have their office in their bedroom.
Yeah.
So you have to be cognizant of that. And in
The
a virtual
surrounding.
interview, you don't want to use a virtual background because
you
I've
don't.
seen people fade out, turn to potatoes. So, you know, it could go really, really wrong in that regard.
So a good mentor is key because they can help guide you and prevent you from making certain mistakes.
Absolutely. I really believe in the power of mentorship. Not only in selecting, you should always have mentors, like a life mentor, a business mentor, you should also have, you know, people that are in your life that are just where you are. I read a really, really good book about Mentor to Millions, about how one of the great entrepreneurs was doing really well, but he could only get so far. And he realized that he needed to get a mentor so to take him 10x to where he was going. So that was the key. He needed to get the mentorship in order to really get and reach the goals. You really can't go where you want to go because you don't know exactly all the things that you need to do. Or they give you shortcuts around things that'll get you through. So I love it. I love mentors. My mentor is Dr. Stacia. I have a mentoring association industry. I have mentors that are in books, you know, that just really help.
That's really good. I need to find me a good mentor.
You should, absolutely. I'm sure you have some. You probably just didn't recognize that they're
I think
mentors.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I know we were talking about mentorship and the importance of being a mentor. How did you go about finding like your mentors, or how did you stumble upon them and say, you know, this is someone who I can learn from?
Well, my main mentor is Dr. Stacia Pierce. So she's a business coach, but she's also my pastor's wife. So she has the spiritual and the business connected. So I've really learned so much from her. So that's my main coach. Everything else, it's been around the industry that I'm in. So associations. I just happened to meet my association coach at a conference, and we clicked, Michelle. And you know, it just varies. It depends on who you click with. You have to have that connection, and you have to have somebody that is ahead of you or where you want to go, and you can really help them, and they can help you. So they're really my Michelle Mason. She's really big on telling me, you know, this is about reverse mentorship. You know, this is also I'm learning from you as well as you're learning from me, and it's been such a great relationship as well.
Strong when you could recognize that, you know, because a lot of the times when people think mentor, they think you teach me, you help guide me, but to be able to say, you know, I'm gonna learn from you as well, is really powerful in a sense.
Yes,
it is.
That's a good leader.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I was thinking in my head. You said it. So we talked about the blog, and you were doing the blog, and then COVID hit.
Yes.
So what was it that presented the shift for you, and you were like, okay, let's get into trading?
Well, it's actually my husband. So my husband has a friend, and in college, he was an econ major, and so he started learning about the foreign exchange market. So I was actually in grad school. I went to UCF Executive MBA program, and during Brexit. And so our finance professor would say, oh, I made a lot of money today with Brexit. You know, the dollar really fell, or the pound really fell. One of them fell, I don't remember. But, you know, I made so much money today. And we said, well, how do we make money? And he said, oh, you're going to have to take my derivatives class. And I'm like, well, there is no derivatives class in our executive MBA curriculum. So how are we going to make some money? So come to find out, my husband around the same time, he said, you know, Terry used to tell me about trading and how he makes money. He sends his kids to school through trade. He sends to private school from his trading. And I want to learn that. And so he asked him, you know, hey, could you tell me about that? And he says, well, I don't really know how to teach people. You know, I can, you know, it's not really, and you can YouTube something, but YouTube is a universe of anything. And you don't know on YouTube who is getting paid, who is giving you good information, who is just trying to fake it till they make it. So, you know, at the same time, go back to mentors, Dr. Stacia Pierce said, hey, I found out about this company that has an academy that teaches you how to trade.
Oh, wow.
Lo and behold, at the same time, I was getting these solicitations from online trading people. And, you know, and I'm like, I don't know who to trust.
Yeah, you don't.
But I was able to follow my mentor. And from that, I'm telling you, the world has opened up. I learned about trading for foreign exchange. I've learned now about high frequency trading. I've learned about cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And then that has evolved into, and also then later on silver, but that's not with the same company. But later, it's just evolved into that knowledge that I've learned.
So talk to me about cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So what is cryptocurrency? Because we hear about it so much, and I know people are like, well, what is it?
Yes. So if you're not involved in cryptocurrency, you need to get involved. I really encourage everybody. This is the kind of when our banking system went from, checks to credit cards. This is the next evolution of our banking system. Cryptocurrency is nothing more than electronic cash. So that's the way I try to explain. I have some pictures on my blog where I hold up my little Bitcoin here, and someone said, how do you get a real Bitcoin? And I'm like, this is not a real Bitcoin. This is just a little token.
It's like a symbol.
It's a symbol.
Okay.
But it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash that you can exchange. So just like I gave you that, I can send you through my phone Bitcoin currency, and Bitcoin has a value, and that value is backed by trust, just like our banking system is backed by trust.
That's something that I was curious about.
Yes,
okay.
Because really this great, we don't know if it's a him, her, or people, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Because he wants to remain like anonymous. He does not want anybody to know who he is, which is interesting at the end of the day, because everybody's like, who created this?
Well, it makes it even mysterious. It's not about him. It's about the system. So what happens with Bitcoin is I send money to you electronically. We have a address, which is 26 characters, and they are essentially noted on the blockchain once computers verify those transactions. You have to have a certain number of verifications, and those are miners that will verify through that transaction. But it makes it super simple and super easy. What's so good about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is that it's instantaneous, or not instantaneous, it's fast.
Okay.
And it cuts out the middleman. So within the current system, there's so many things or so many institutions that get your hands into that process that charge fees and slow it down.
Yeah.
So it takes all of that out and says, let me just send it to you without a bank, decentralized.
That's
so
interesting.
You don't need a bank in order to do most cryptocurrencies. They're not. Some are securities. There are a couple of them that are securities with and registered, but most are not. This is a peer-to-peer exchange, and they're solving real-world issues. They're looking at problems like when my friends in Vietnam want to send their family money, do they use Western Union? Well, or another third-party system, and then they're paying a whole bunch of fees. With Bitcoin, they're low fees, 99 cents.
So you can purchase things with Bitcoin?
You can.
So how does that work? I'm curious. I'm really curious.
You can. There are more and more companies and organizations are adopting the application. Like Tesla, you can buy a car with Bitcoin.
Wow.
With your Bitcoin. However, for me, I'm what they call, I'm holding my Bitcoin.
Okay.
I'm a hodler. So I really believe that the price of Bitcoin is going to continue to rise.
As it has.
Since
it first came.
Yes. Over 400% or 500%
And
increase.
that's so crazy because I remember it was a few years ago. I don't know how many. I want to say it was like 5 years ago. Bitcoin's been around for a while.
Yes, since 2009.
So it was a while ago. And my stepdad's like, "Yeah, you need to buy Bitcoin." And I'm like, "What's Bitcoin?" And he's like, "Man, look, I'm telling you, it's mad cheap right now. Buy Bitcoin." And I'm like, nah. And now I'm sitting here like, dang, if I would have bought Bitcoin like years ago, I really would have been doing good by now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone says, you shoulda.
Yeah.
And, you should all over yourself. So,
but that's funny.
I didn't make that up, but it's all good.
But you hear about so many celebrities, like I think even like 50 Cent said that he made like a ton of money through Bitcoin.
Yes.
And I think the one thing that has a lot of people kind of skeptical when it comes about like cryptocurrency is that it's not tangible. So then you think, well, if Bitcoin just disappears, what happens to my cash value that's invested in Bitcoin?
Well, remember I said Bitcoin is based upon trust. And Bitcoin is one, the main the main cryptocurrency. There's over 6,000, almost 7,000 cryptocurrencies. Oh. But Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies are based upon trust. Oh. Now we have companies, 5 companies within the NASDAQ exchange, over 19 to 20 now, it might be even more, companies that have invested their money into cryptocurrency, their cash on hand from their balance sheet or their P&L, because they know that they're going to get a better return than the US dollar. So,
question. When you say trust, are you talking about physical, I trust you, or are you talking about trust, like banking trust?
No, physical, I trust you.
Ah.
So with adoption comes more trust.
Oh,
so what I'm saying is, if Michael Saylor says, you know what, I'm believing in Bitcoin, I'm dumping, $300 billion or $1 million into Bitcoin. Okay, and then Elon Musk says, I believe in Bitcoin. He tweets about it and the price goes sky high.
Yeah.
If, if Apple was looking, they haven't done it yet, but if they're looking into Bitcoin, if other companies, Goldman Sachs, if Visa, if all these companies are building partnerships and adoption, then what does that tell you? That tells you that they realize and recognize, A, where the money resides. They realize that. Okay. And then B, they recognize that this is not going away, and this is powerful. An opportunity to make some money, as well as this is where our system is going. So I tell people all the time, if you're not invested in Bitcoin, if you're not invested in cryptocurrency, don't wait. Like this, what makes this so powerful is you and I can be the next multimillionaires with an investment. If you were, there's a crypto Twitter out there that if you were to took that first stimulus, if you would have took that first stimulus we got, it would have been worth over $8,000 now.
Wow.
So just a small investment can change your financial future. You can pay stuff off. It's never too late. And we're at the beginning stages. So that's what my whole thing is. That's why I created, and I don't want to.
Yeah, no, we're going to get into that too.
Yeah, I created this little guide because so many people didn't know how to get it started with crypto. And it's so overwhelming. If you just say, I'm going to Google it or go on YouTube, it gets so overwhelming. But when you connect with people, you get a mentor. Absolutely. I can be a mentor because I've been in this space. Then you're able to do that and get in our community. That's the key, because this space is evolving so quickly, so fast that like last night we were on a call. I'm on Clubhouse listening about, this one event or this thing, and they drop a coin, or they on our community, they mentioned a coin that we need to get into. It grows so fast, and you have the opportunity to 4x your money, to 10x your money, to 40x your money, and an investment that you can make. But if you're not involved, then you're not going to have anything. And if you're just buying it, you're only making one way. There's so many ways. We were talking about NFTs. There's so many ways to make money with cryptocurrency that if you're not in the right space at this time, then you're really going to miss out and not be, and not reach your goals. It's really about you reaching your goals. Absolutely. Where do you want to go next? What do you want to do? What do you want to, what do you want to live?
Financial freedom.
And have that financial freedom. That's what it comes down to. And I'm so passionate about it because I know that we need it. I know our community needs it.
Absolutely.
And the cost of you going to Popeyes and getting a chicken sandwich is the same thing. You could invest that. You don't have to buy $60,000 worth of Bitcoin. You could buy $12.95
a little bit
Bitcoin.
at a time.
Yes. Okay. Dollar cost average your way into it so that you could have that. I had a cousin, or actually for Christmas, I gave my family and friends some cryptocurrency. And I only gave him $25. I only gave him $25.
Yeah.
But since Christmas, I didn't look at it today, but at one point it was over $100.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so it's close to $100, if not $100 right now, from that investment. I said, I'm done with gift cards. I'm only giving crypto.
I'm with that.
Hey, listen, because if I can get you started and you can learn and you can see how it's growing, then you could put in $5 more here. Absolutely. You can put in $10 here. And then sooner than later, you'll have $1,000. And you'll look up like, I wasn't able to save $1,000, but now I have $1,000 that I can cash out at any time.
You're setting the pace.
I'm setting the pace for financial freedom, for you to pay stuff off, for you to get a home. our community, black people, brown people, we need to have home ownership. We need to have multiple streams of income, and it takes money.
It does.
All of it comes down to money.
It does.
And it doesn't take that
Absolutely.
much to get started.
I agree.
So
I know we talked about financial freedom, and ideally, everybody wants to reach some sort of level of financial freedom.
yes.
And I know that you've created guides and tutorials to kind of help people on their journey towards that. So let's talk a little bit about, your recent release, your recent guide.
Yes, super excited. It's a digital ebook, but I love it. I print it out, so I give this to you if you want. But
I get a copy?
Yeah, it's digital, but you can get the hard copy.
Cool.
It's the beginner's guide to cryptocurrency, and why I created this guide was because I got so many questions on how do I get started. And it's not hard to get started, but you need to have, I call it the 3 S's for success with cryptocurrency. You need to have a strategy. You got to figure out, how you do it. You need to have security. And you need to also make sure, what was my third one? Here it is, solidify.
Okay.
You need to solidify your assets. So once you have your strategy, you need to figure out what you are going to do and how you're going to get them.
Okay.
And that's really where I help people through all of that process. It cuts out the middleman of, I don't know, that ambiguity. I don't know what to do. It's hard. It's so much information. But it will, the community that I'm a part of will give you a great strategy. It tells you how to secure it. It tells you, and I walk you through. Once you get connected, I give you the resources, there's videos, and then I show you, okay, this is how you buy it on this exchange. This is how you do this on this exchange. So I help you hand in glove, and when there's opportunities that will take off, then I walk you through how to get involved with those opportunities. And I'm telling you, people have seen some great results.
That's awesome.
In short periods of time.
In short periods of time, really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So y'all hear this. If you're looking to get into cryptocurrency, she has a beginner's guide.
Yes.
And you're also available if they need any assistance. You offer that service as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That's really...
I think it's important. We got to get involved.
Yeah.
And as much as we can break down that barrier of the fear of the unknown, then that's part of it. So if I can do that and I can help, I can get you involved and you can start making some returns on your money.
Which is ideal, because I know, especially right now, like everybody's getting checks, we're getting stimulus, we're getting PPP loans, we're getting tax refunds.
Yes.
So finding a way to invest this cash will take it a lot further than, spending it at the Gucci store. I mean, still do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, if you're going to spend a little bit, I highly believe in, if you can spend it, you can invest it.
Absolutely.
In some way, shape, or form, like you said.
Yeah.
If we spend, $15 at Chick-fil-A, you could take $15 and invest in Chick-fil-A to see some kind of return.
That's right.
On what you're spending every day. I just bought Starbucks stock because I'm like, I go there every day.
Yeah.
I give them so much of my money. Let me invest a little bit.
Absolutely. The same amount you spend on the Starbucks, get the stock. The stock has gone up so much.
It has.
So
I noticed that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. And, it's really about making smart investments.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you get a check, how are you really using that check? Are you just being a consumer, or are you being a strategic advisor over your money? That you are really taking that information, because all your check is a compensation for your knowledge.
Yep.
So are you taking that knowledge or that compensation that you got and really making it work for you? So you want to invest it in places. That's why I do cryptocurrency, but I also do silver.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because I saw your silver. You got a nice collection.
I do. And I didn't even know, okay, this is kind of pandemic. Around pandemic time, it was presented to me that you had the opportunity to collect silver coins. And so I said, okay, well, you could also get a residual income. Okay, well, this is another stream of income, great. And you're building a wealth portfolio. I said, okay, well, this is good. Getting silver would be a good opportunity.
How does that work?
So every month, it's like a subscription. Every month you get silver coins sent to you. and they're pure silver. So this is one of them I brought you. This is a 4.9, so that is 99.99% pure silver.
Okay.
It's got the queen. They come from all different mints all over the world.
So the 99.99. So what does that stand for?
That means it's pure.
Percentage pure.
Yes, percentage
Wow.
pure. So you can't really get higher than 99.99 because you can't get all the yeah. And
Oh,
Ag
wow.
is the elemental form of silver from the periodic table. So you get those sent to you every single month.
Nice.
Yay! Every month they get sent to you. You choose the quantity with our subscription program. And based upon it, when you become a wealth ambassador, you decide to do this as a business, you can get residual income from it. So you could be a customer and get no residual income but build your wealth portfolio, or you can be a wealth ambassador and get residual income. I tell people it is literally the cheapest business you can get into.
Really?
Yeah, it only costs $10 a month to be a wealth ambassador, and then you want to get at least one coin a month. I mean,
so what about the coins? Do they like go up in value over the years?
Yes. So silver, of course, has intrinsic value. It's never going to zero. But if you look at history, what tends to happen in times of recession and times of crises is that the price of silver, the price of precious metals, things like that will go up. So this is a great time for people to buy because historically the price has almost doubled, and some are speculating that it's going to go up even more than that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a good place to hedge against inflation.
Yeah.
So the cost of goods are going up. We're printing more money as a stimulus, and now people are putting money into cryptocurrency and silver, precious metals, gold. You can get it with our subscription program too. You can get gold.
I was going to ask about that because that's the one that I've heard about the most is buying in golds and, you know, the gold bars and things of that nature. So when I saw, she does these live videos where she shows you her silver collection. So make sure you guys follow her. She'll give you that information later. But when I saw like your collection and how you handled them, I noticed like you had on the white gloves, and I was wondering like, what was the reason for wearing the white gloves? And then I see that you get the coins, but then you put them inside the cases.
Yes.
So, like, it's a whole process.
Yes, it is good. It's so good. Families love it. So with kids, because the coins come from all over the world, they do lessons and history lessons and things like that based upon the coins. But what makes it so good is when you start with a company, you're able to get a challenge pack. So you can start, I tell everyone, start with this challenge pack. It comes with a beautiful case for you to hold your coins. It comes with the cases for you to put the coins in. It comes with the gloves that you saw me in, and then the magnifying glass and a display mat. So it comes with all of that. And what you're able to do is use the gloves so that you don't mess up the coins. So we all have oils. Even if we wash our hands, our body generates oil. And this is pure silver. So it's straight from the mine to the minter and to the company that mints it.
That's
and
why
then,
it looks so...
Yeah, it's shiny and brilliant. And so if you put oil on that, it'll just over time degrade the coin. So you wear the gloves so it doesn't degrade the coin. You put them in the cases, and then you can display it. And with the company, what makes it so awesome is that they donate meals to starving families.
Wow.
Every time you get 16 coins, you take a picture with your challenge pack. So it's such a
good,
cool. It's a good philanthropic thing. They give 20 meals when you buy the challenge pack, and then once you take the picture and you show that you've completed the challenge, 16 coins in 90 days, then they'll donate another 20 meals. So
that's a good way to get you engaged. And then, like you said, when it becomes a family thing and you have your kids involved, it's a way for them to see that something that you're doing is positively impacting others.
Yes.
In addition to gaining them financial wealth and freedom at the same time.
Yeah, so people leave, there's two things you can do with silver. You can leave it as an inheritance for your children. My mother actually, when I started this, I didn't know that silver was an inheritance. She had given me silver. I didn't even know that until I put these up, and I was like, oh, I have some of this. And so she left me some silver. She passed in 2012, and it really became personal for me. Not only was it a method of getting financial freedom, but I realized that more people need to be able to leave that inheritance for their children, like my mother left for me. And so we're in the process of adopting, my husband and I. So we have a website, Silver for Baby Land, that talks about my mother's story, a picture of me and my mom, and how she gave us silver, and how our silver business, that's what we're dedicating our goals is to use that towards our adoption or child rearing purpose. So that's what we love. But or the second way is you can use it as a hedge against inflation. So you take your emergency fund, say you want to save $5,000 in emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, that's $15,000 or so. You say, I'm going to take $5 grand and put it in silver because I know that it will have value against the dollar. If I put it under a mattress, it's going to be less value.
Of course, yeah.
So you do that, and over time, you can do it 10 coins a month, 5 or 4 coins a month, whatever your budget allows. You get those coins sent to you, and over time, you're able to build that wealth portfolio.
So it's like a long game investment.
Yes.
So it's something that you want to invest in, but it's not necessarily for like a right away return, but over time, it's going to gradually increase.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, it depends on the economy. When we saw a few months ago with the Reddit community, there was a rush on silver. Literally, thankfully not our company, but most companies ran out of silver. They ran out of silver.
I saw that,
and the price of silver skyrocketed. So having that investment, if that during that time, if I needed some money, I could have gone and sold it at a premium. So it's you getting involved and being involved in this market that will give you a strategy. There's always a way out.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people. You have the ability to solve every single problem in this world. There is always a way out. But when you have options, you got options.
Yeah.
And silver, crypto, these are all options for you to use. Your intellectual property, your mind, those being able to leverage your skills, those are things that you can do, and that's why that's all going to come in my course. When you become involved.
Stay tuned. Course coming soon.
Yes. So
when it comes to, I know we mentioned like all the different ways. Do you recommend that someone looking to get into investment find one path and stay on that one path? Or do you think that it's more ideal for an individual to look into different ways, like investing in maybe silver and Bitcoin, and then maybe also getting some stocks? Or should you kind of put your energy into like one pot?
This is what I say. That's a very good question. I would say the cryptocurrency space is growing so fast, I would not wait.
Okay.
I have, like I told you, one of my friends got involved. I told him in December, and he joined in January. And he said his only regret is that he did not take the fast action when I told him in December. Because he could have made more money. He could have made just in a month. And so I would say definitely get involved in cryptocurrency space as soon as you can.
Okay.
The second thing is silver is passive. I mean, it is coming to you. You know what day it's coming. You set your goal. You work your plan. You tell people about it if you want a residual income. It's not consuming. Do it too.
Yeah.
Like it's no conflict. For me, it's hand in glove. You see the dollar, we're printing more money, we're continuously doing stimulus, that's deflating our dollar. We got to put it in a place where it's
somewhere
more.
Where,
And then stock. I mean, I was in GameStop. Thankfully, honestly, I was not in GameStop at the time of the run-up. I was in AMC, but I actually sold my AMC for a profit and then invested it in crypto.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
but do it all.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, we have a phrase within some of my friends. We say I'm not going home without my bags. All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Secure the bag.
That's right. That's right. I mean, so why not? Why not? You're only limiting yourself by just saying no. And I always tell people, just say yeah. If I didn't say yes and start getting involved, and actually I didn't even know about crypto. One night in the community, I was just sitting at home. My husband and I were on a Friday night. We usually watch a movie. And so I pulled out my laptop and I said, oh, there's somebody on for crypto. Let me pull him up. Oh, he's pretty funny. Let me watch him. And that's how I got involved. Just over time, learning and learning.
Wow.
So yeah, you can do it all. That's what I say. Do it all.
Do it all.
Let's connect.
But at the end of the day, jump into it.
Yes.
Jump into it sooner rather than later.
Yes. Yeah. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Most people will say it's too hard. It's not too hard. You just need to connect with the right people so that you can get that path. Then we go back to mentorship. When you get with the right mentor, they will make things easier for you.
Absolutely.
And I didn't recognize myself as a mentor until my friend who got involved, he said, you spit this stuff off off of the top of your head.
Yeah, you're teaching.
And I'm like, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still learning, but that's a good mentor. Because this space is evolving so fast.
Constantly
you need
evolving.
people that are studying, learning, growing, and that will help you get to where you need to go. So, yeah.
So you have dropped so much on us today. We've gone into so many different ways to basically acquire financial freedom if someone is willing to take the time to learn and connect with an individual like yourself.
Yes.
So what I would like for you to do is tell everybody where they can find you, how they can reach out to you, and where they can get a copy of your Beginner's Guide to Cryptocurrency.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Oriana.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you having me on.
I learned a lot. I enjoyed this.
Yes, it was fun. So my name is Maunda Land. That's Maunda Land. I'm the only Maunda Land out there in the universe.
Love
So you can find me on social media at Maunda Land, or you can go to my website, financialfreedomforyou.com. So it's financialfreedomforyou.com. And on that website, you can download your free beginner's guide to cryptocurrency. You can learn more about silver. You can learn more about connecting with me if you're in the association community or just anything, mentorship. We can connect. But I love to connect. I love to answer your questions, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you coming and sitting down with us, and I'll definitely be connecting with you to learn more
Sounds
about
good.
everything all in all. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Level Up, and we are signing out.